Welcome to this meeting of the Board of Education. We're so glad to have you here. The public may submit comments to us in writing at boe@wcps.k12.md.us, and I really appreciate it because I can look at your comments and study them. The comments will be distributed to all board members. And now, if you would join me for the Pledge to Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. We have a quorum. I need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second? All those in favor? Charlie?
No.
Okay, thank you. We have no old business, which brings us to new business.
Good afternoon.
Okay, Speedy, take it over.
All right, I'm Terry Baker. I'm the Executive Director of Human Resources. Good afternoon, Dr. Zettmeyer, Dr. Savine, and board members. I'm here with Carol Mallon, our WCTA president, and we are so thrilled to let you know that we've come to consensus, thank you, and been ratified by WCTA, and we're here today to sign 4 MOUs. All right, so the first one, we're asking for consideration of a memorandum of understanding between the Washington County Board of Education and the Washington County Teachers Association regarding salary and amended language detailed in the signed tentative agreements.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
President Zettmeyer, I move to approve the memorandum of understanding between the Washington County Board of Education and the Washington County Teachers Association Incorporated regarding salary and amended language detailed in the signed tentative agreements.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do we have any discussion? Seeing none, let's move to the vote. All those in favor? Unanimous.
Thank you. Number 2, consideration of a memorandum of understanding between the Washington County Board of Education and the Washington County Teachers Association regarding a modification of Teacher Article 7.14 planning time.
Do I have a motion?
President Zettmeyer, I move to approve the memorandum of understanding between the Washington County Board of Education and the Washington County Teachers Association Incorporated regarding a modification of Teacher Article 7.14 planning time.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tori. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to the vote. All in favor? Unanimously approved.
Right, number 3, consideration of a memorandum of understanding between the Washington County Board of Education and the Washington County Teachers Association regarding a modification of Teacher Article 15.8 salary scale.
Do I have a motion?
President Zettmeyer, I move to approve the memorandum of understanding between the Washington County Board of Education and the Washington County Teachers Association Incorporated regarding a modification of Teacher Article 15.8 salary scale career ladder.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to the vote. All in favor? Unanimously carried.
And last but not least, number 4, consideration of a memorandum of understanding between the Washington County Board of Education and the Washington County Teachers Association regarding a modification of Teacher Article 13.7 specialized unit member assignments.
Do I have a motion? Oh,
President Zettmeyer, I move to approve the memorandum of understanding between Washington County Board of Education and Washington County Teachers Association regarding a modification of Article 13.7. I'm sorry, what was the number of that?
Specialized 13.7.
13.7 specialized unit member assignments as presented.
do I have a second? Thank you, Tori. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimously carried. Thank you very much, and thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for what I say, the hard work of our team, the board team, as well as the WCTA team. A lot of hours, a lot of collaboration. So, Carol, did you have anything?
Yes, I appreciate the consideration. As 1 year of negotiations comes to a close, the next year already begins. So we look forward to working with you again as we continue to work through some of our more thorny issues where we have not yet found consensus at the table.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Next up, personnel actions.
Good afternoon, President Zettmeyer, members of the board, and Dr. Savine. As discussed earlier during closed session, we have several staff changes for your review, and at this time, I ask for your approval of today's personnel actions.
Do I have a motion?
President Zettmeyer, I move to approve the personnel actions dated Tuesday, August 5th, 2025, as presented in closed session.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Tori. Thank you, Linda. Any discussion? All those in favor? Unanimously carried. Thank you very, very much. Which brings us to the Landis project, a very.
Do we need to close out a business meeting first?
Close out the session. We're now in the work session.
All right. We're going into work session now. I have a lot of these little yellow papers in front of me. The public may submit copies again, and now that we're in a working session, we can have presentation of the Landis project.
Thank you, President Zettmeyer. It's my pleasure to provide an introduction regarding Landon's project. The board now has received a couple updates going back to last year, and we felt that it was appropriate to provide an update regarding the progress of Landon's project, recognizing this is a public-private partnership, in particular, a partnership with our healthcare professionals, and you're going to hear from a number of members of our advisory board. But first, we're going to kick off and provide an update. Mr. Benito Fatalana, father or grandfather rather of Landon, and we have Landon here in person, and his father. Can't think of a better way to open up today's presentation by turning it over to you, and then we will have other advisory board members and our healthcare professionals that will provide some additional updates.
Great, thank you very much. First of all, I thought, being a work session with Landon's project, we were fortunate enough, I heard Landon was going to be up visiting us from Alabama. So I called Dr. Savine and Dr. Webb, says, what do you think if Landon could just come by and say hello and you guys get a chance to meet him and maybe just get to know a little bit about him and maybe the heart and soul of really why this project kicked off. First of all, I'm thankful for everyone in the Washington County School System that I've worked with. When we first started this project, it was just a concept that we just talked about, what if? And at this point, what I first do is let you get to know Landon a little bit. We might ask him a few questions, and if the board would like to ask him a couple questions, that would be wonderful. Unless you have questions right now you'd like to ask him. Okay, so Landon.
Sorry I got so excited about this, but I love this project.
No, that's perfect, thank you. We are too, we're very excited. So Landon, what are some of the things you enjoy the most during the day? What do you like doing?
Well, I like playing some sports, which is soccer and tennis, and I like practicing baseball, and I do Bible study and violin, and I also do ballet and math.
Yeah. So Landon, so from a sports, what do you like about the sports? When you play sports, what do you enjoy the most?
Well, I enjoyed soccer the most, which I like to run, which means I like to do soccer. That makes me run a lot, and I like running.
Chris, can you share a little bit or ask?
Yeah. So I think one of the
Can we just use a student board member's mic?
Yeah.
And then they won't have.
Thank you, ma'am. So I know you just heard everything that Landon likes to do and what he really has a passion for, but that's not how it always was. When he was 4.5 is when he first got his diagnosis for autism. And we tried sports when he was 5 and 6 years old, and his first soccer game, 4 minutes in, it looked so awesome. And then the next 56 minutes was pure crying and emotional breakdowns. And it's been a lot of work between integration, working with him, working with his peers, to not let him just sit on the sidelines, to let him be around his peers, and for him to be involved. And through all the years of hard work that we've done, but especially what Landon has been able to do, that's where we're at today, is he can go anywhere, he can hang around with anybody, and it's purely through the integration part with his peers.
You know, one of the things I find as a grandfather, you know, I kind of do whatever I can at the house when he comes up to visit. But recently, you know, I got an Xbox. I thought, Landon's going to come up, let's do an Xbox and, you know, get engaged and see what it does. And so, Landon, how quick did it take you to conquer the recent Halo 5, which you just started this week? How many days?
5.
Yeah, within 5 days, Landon is able to memorize just about anything you can find on Halo or any other game, flying drones. The thing that I find the most impressive is his situational awareness. He's thinking far beyond certain things that I could probably even think of. But Landon, what are the things you like doing during the summer? Can you share a little about summer camp? What you did at camp?
Well, since summer camp,
It's a violin camp.
well, I do violin camp, which is pretty fun. And
What did you have to do for camp, for the talent show?
well, since the challenge, so I wrote down a piece of Halo music from Halo, and I played it for my talent show.
But was it the original song, or what did you do to the song?
Well, I just Coprise.
Well, no, you,
Well, I just wrote it down.
but you completely redid it.
I did
In
I
about
redid-
15 minutes. He's used to composing. That's the right word. Thank you. Composing his own pieces of music, and that's something that nobody at his age thought that he would be able to do, and that's a shame that people would look at him and his situation and not think highly of him. And unfortunately, that's where a lot of people are today. But if you give him a chance, he'll completely shine through anything.
Did any of the board members want to ask him any questions at all?
How long have you been playing the violin?
Since 5.5 years,
And how old are you now?
12.
12? I'm told that that is probably the most difficult instrument to learn. Except for maybe the harp, because I don't think anyone plays that anymore.
President Zentmeyer, if I may, his proud grandfather has shared with me some insights there. Landon, would you like to expand? I believe you have a leadership role with the symphony there locally in Alabama, right?
Last year, he was first chair violinist in the Symphony for Children.
Wow.
And Landon took lessons
Mhm.
when he first started, private lessons, and just has expanded even beyond that to now just recently writing his own piece from Halo. So
But he's written probably a dozen so pieces just over the last couple of years. But one of the many gifts he has, one of them is memorization. We were at Gettysburg yesterday, and there was a woman playing a piece that he's never heard before, and within about 10 seconds of it being done, he'd probably be able to just play it back without any issues. So that is one of his superpowers that he has, is memorization.
any other questions at all?
What do you play in soccer? What position? Or all of them?
I play multiple positions.
Okay.
Well,
What's your favorite?
my favorite is penalty.
Or forward?
Yeah, that too.
And you were goalie?
And I play goalie sometimes.
All right, cool. Yeah, when you said you like to run, I figured you were a midfielder running back and forth the whole game.
Landon is very, very fast, actually,
Awesome.
right?
Right.
So, okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you for your time. All right, Landon, thank you for being here with
Thank you,
sharing
Board.
just a little bit about how your succeeding in school and sports and everything. We're glad that you got to meet everybody. That's really helping Landon's project move forward in Washington County. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, buddy.
Thank you, Landon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So thank you very much. I thought what a unique opportunity with Landon coming up. And he was able to, we've got 6 grandkids, and he was able to get out of the house today for a few minutes and spend time with you. I really think it's powerful to hear Landon speak. If you didn't know Landon several years ago, you would have thought this was a child that was always like this. When he was 6 years old, the school said that he would never speak English as a primary language and that he would never function. And if I get passionate, it's just because I am. They said he would never function and we'd have to build a life around him. And as grandparents, that was an amazing verdict for a 6-year-old. So there weren't enough resources in the system. So unfortunately, we had to bring Landon out of the system. And Landon's parents became his own behavioral specialist. We all tried to figure it out along the way. But we ended up getting, we had the resource to go get therapy and therapists. Several years ago, he was sensory, so he walked on his toes, and they said he'll never walk normal. He walked on his tippy toes. We had one doctor, one appointment say, it's possible to fix that right here in Frederick, Maryland, and they did. So special needs parents sometimes are given a verdict with no alternative, no direction where to go. And whether you get lucky, fortunate, whatever, sometimes you come across opportunity. It works sometimes, but quite often it doesn't. And I guess Landon's project, when I see what was happening with Landon, I called Dr. Savine and Dr. Webster, and I said, what can we do here in Washington County to make a difference? Landon's going to be fine, but how many other lands are out there that don't have the resources or don't know where to go? And I'm so honored to get to know the 2 individuals because they didn't just kind of say, well, that's nice, let's try. They literally sat in my office and they scoped out, what can we do? So we started a nonprofit called Landon's Puzzle Pieces. It's now in the works 6 years maybe. And we brought it to Washington County. We've given literally thousands and thousands of sensory items to kids from Baltimore to recently to Greenbrier, West Virginia, Virginia schools, Alabama, and other places. But it's just not enough. And Landon's project, what I'd like to share when you see Landon is I've got some very gifted children myself that were normal, that just went to gifted schools. One went to Wellesley in Boston and Mercersburg Academy, graduated top of their class. Academically, they were gifted the whole time, and we could see it, and they were programmed in the school system that challenged them and pushed them to be very successful individuals in their own right. But what I find for special needs sometimes is we don't view special needs as a gift. And that's where I hope Landon's project starts changing that structure, that thought process. Landon is a very gifted person, could defeat Xbox games within a day or two, sometimes a day, literally masters things because he sees things. He writes music. He heard music at Gettysburg yesterday, and he already knew how to play it just by listening within about 20 seconds. That's a gift. And Landon's project is all about is unlocking that gift amongst other kids in our Washington County school system and other places. And the hope is that we can collectively work together to design a path to make more Landons possible. Maybe they don't have the resources, but let's find the resources and let's bring the community together and rally around these amazing young individuals and create a gifted path in its own right. They are gifted, it's unique, it's a different type of approach to teaching. Without behavioral specialists, without the education, so sometimes we don't know what's hurting them. So when they act out, it's simply because they're in pain. Landon, 3 years ago, was on the soccer field for 4 minutes and literally broke down. And for 52 minutes, 56 minutes, he cried the whole time. We didn't know why. A year later, throughout that year, Landon's dad worked with him. Now he's captain. He was captain, goalie. He played just pretty much and he stayed a whole hour on the soccer field playing with his peers. The one thing I also want to say is Landon knew that others didn't accept him or didn't understand him. And he wanted to be like everybody else. He wanted to be with everybody else. But the school system down there separated him, and he couldn't be there. And how sad. Landon will get up in front of hundreds of people, his peers, and speak, and he has. He's not afraid to be part of the system around him. We just had to teach him how to become part of that system and to understand the framework and to help develop the techniques when you have a breakdown, or I'll say it that way, when something challenges him, how to autocorrect himself and get back into the situation. And that's what this project's really about. It's not separating, and it's really recognizing they're all different. There's going to be different situations where they have to be addressed separately, finding the techniques that work for them, helping them auto-adjust, and getting them back in the classroom and work with others and their peers. In the future, I am so excited about Landon's future. He talks about being an architect. He designs things on Minecraft. I mean, he's amazing what he thinks about. And I think about, well, what if we just took the verdict and we just didn't seek out help? So I just want to say thank you. I could go on, but I just want to say the project is really all about figuring out how to allow people like Landon to become part of society and find a normal path in life, and to become part of their community and their peers. Landon knows his peers sometimes thinks he's a little different. He's very aware. But he also finds ways how to work within them. In fact, one day he said, Grandpa, I made a mistake. I shared something. And he goes, but I won't have to do it like that next time. He auto-corrects even amongst his peers because he recognizes his peers see him differently. But his peers are really accepting him more and more because they're understanding him and how to work with him too. So I just want to say that's the future, hopefully. I'm just thankful, and I'm thankful that we're here to even talk about that. I don't know how much time I had, but I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Vadalana. And we thought that was important. Oh, Dr. Zettmeyer.
Thank you, too.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, we thought it was important to start this conversation about Landon's project with the heart of why we do what we do. And when Mr. Vadalana approached Dr. Savine and I about his passion for this project, we couldn't agree more. And whenever we joined the team, the outcry from our teachers and our community members to continue to evolve our programming to identify those unique gifts and talents of our students, for us to invest in what it takes to unlock those gifts and talents and to make sure that we have programming that matches the needs of our students. We shared his passion, and we know that we're not alone in terms of districts around the state. This conversation is there, that we have increasing, changing needs among our students, and we have to think differently. And one of the great things that Mr. Vadalana's idea brought us was this idea of connecting with the community. And so I want to share just a brief update on sort of where we are with the vision for the project. And also we have some of our advisory board members here to also share where the community members see their investment. Because this definitely is a project that will take a community investment in the ideas in order to be able to really ensure that all of our students can thrive. So just keeping in mind that the whole concept here is that we bring education and medical and university partners together. This idea that we as educators are going to continue to grow, and we're going to use the knowledge of some of our community members who have skills that we just don't have. They'll give us some insights into things that we may say, we want you to go and talk with a medical provider about that. But that barrier for parents of getting access to the medical provider, being able to follow through that it takes, the insurance requirements, all of the things that we all know that we all deal with, those are real barriers for our families. So we really want to think about how do we start to remove some of those and bring our resources together under one roof for our students. And we also do see an increased need for sensory and adaptive materials. We have students who need alternative supports in the classroom. And so we want the project to be able to meet the district needs around students both in school and at home. And we want the project to provide ongoing professional development to teach our teachers working with students, hearing, Landon's dad talk about the importance of inclusion. Our teachers and our support staff need ongoing professional development to know how to work with the specific students that they're working with. And sometimes it's unlocking each kid at a time, right? And so we're committed to that work as well. We do see Landon's project as a district resource. While we're talking about starting 2 classrooms at Funkstown Elementary to be our initial start to housing specific students in one place, we do see that Funkstown as a district resource, that we can engage the community through the knowledge that's coming through those doors, and by bringing families together through opportunities to learn together about their students in that space. So our initial work, we have secured grant funding to hire a coordinator for Landon's project at Funkstown, and the board will be receiving an update at the August board meeting about the grant funding that we did secure that will support that coordinator position. So that's an important piece, because that coordinator position will serve as the leader of the beginning of these program classrooms, and also the district-wide resource to continue to evolve the ways that we can provide professional development and bring families in. As I mentioned, we will have 2 enhanced classrooms. We've constantly been looking at the profiles of our students. What's our existing programming? Who are students for whom we need something a little bit different? And that's sort of the spirit of this initial start with these 2 classrooms, is we have students who have a profile that we need something beyond what we currently have in our comprehensive schools. And so we're going to start with these 2 classrooms of students. And I have to say, the special education team is here, both our school-based special educators and our central office-based. The level of skill that they have, that they bring to this conversation and heart for the students, will continue to evolve what this programming looks like for our students. And we will be collaborating, our medical partners, who you're going to hear from in a few moments. I can't say enough about how much time they have spent talking with us and thinking with us about what could this look like, where we can use your expertise to help us, because they see our students in the community as patients, and they are invested as well. So they're going to share with you some of their insights. They're committed to supporting these classrooms at Funkstown next year in any way that they can as well. We will be able to host district parent engagement events, as I mentioned earlier, and we really feel like this is just the beginning of what we can do to start to think differently about how we serve and support our students. So at this point, I would love to invite Dr. Booty, Dr. Van, and Dr. Rao to join us at the table. And they are going to share, I just asked for them to share. They have, like I've said, they have spent countless hours with us, talking with us and thinking with us. So we thought it was important that you hear their perspective, as they are medical providers in the community, what they see, and really their commitment to this project and this partnership.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Annie Rao. I'm a local pediatrician. Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Vandana Sajankila. I'm also a local community pediatrician.
I'm Dr. Booty. I've been practicing pediatrics here for 28 years. I'm right now the Chief Medical Officer at Meritus Medical Center.
So I just wanted to let you all know that we're beyond excited for this project. And from the beginning, we have been meeting with the people who are involved here, and just the thought that more opportunities will be there for these kids. And we do see a lot of kids who have extreme problems with the daily, day-to-day activities in the regular schools. So my understanding is, in the beginning, it will just they'll start as a small 2-classroom school, and then we really, really hope that it's going to grow in a much bigger vision as like a Landon's project. I think it's a very good thing that is happening in this community, especially with, we know that autism being the most topmost 5, one of the top 5 diagnosis that we see in the day-to-day life of a community pediatrician.
I just want to make sure that how it started. So most people think a child with autism is a problem. I think differently. I think if you look at the vast majority of kids with autism, they are extremely intelligent. However, their focus is they excel in certain areas and not the way we have traditional way of teaching. And that's why we started talking to Benito, Dr. Sveen, and Jen. And my excitement was that at least somebody is recognizing the fact that we could do something different. I think we are stuck in an archaic way of teaching our students for the past 200 years. And there are ways of teaching these kids in a way that they can excel. Because it's like this famous cartoon where a person is sitting and asking the elephant, the bird, the fish, and the frog to climb the tree. So you can't expect everybody to be tested on how they can climb the tree. So I feel it's the same way. Every child is different. And I don't want to take too much time because I can keep talking for the entire day. But I'm really passionate about how this thing came up. And I'm very happy that these are the first steps which the Board of Education has taken.
So me, like I said, I'm a local pediatrician and I have deep passion in helping children, especially with special needs, because that's where I trained with kids with metabolic disorders. And so because of that, and recently in my practice, I have firsthand crucial information that early diagnosis has been helpful, and starting kids with autism on behavioral interventions early on has been very much helpful. And so the time is of an essence. So studies have shown that autistic children have received integrated support in school, not combining the academic instruction with behavior, speech, and occupational therapies. They have excelled well in school, and then integrating this into the classroom setting has been proven to be helpful in helping them adjust to the local lifestyle too. So when I heard about this therapeutic school, a place designed to unlock the full potential of children with developmental and learning challenges, I didn't hesitate. I knew I wanted to be part of this. And for over a year now, and I've been working with this group of passionate people, meeting, collaborating, and planning what should be done for this therapeutic school to start. And now that this vision is coming to fruition, I'm really excited about this. And this Landon's project is not just a project, it's a lifeline. And it's a place where behaviors can be guided, learning can be personalized, and children can gain confidence and skills they need one day to succeed in traditional classroom setting. Okay, so I truly believe this is the way forward, and I'm honored to be here today, and not just as a pediatrician, but as advocate for each of this child. Thank you.
Thank you. Like I mentioned to Dr. Rudy, you're going to add more, but I can't underscore enough the time and commitment that these medical professionals have given, because they do care about our community and they care about our children. And I know that Dr. Zettmeyer will probably say this. I can see she's ready to say something too, but we really appreciate your investment and support in us and our kids.
You're so appreciated, so appreciated. Thank you so much for all of your service to our students.
Thank you.
We are super excited.
Can I ask a couple questions?
Sure.
So, first of all, thank you. This is very needed. As we just saw, especially students with special needs like this, there's no one fix-all solution, right? And I think that is the biggest problem that not just our system, but every system in the country has, that how we're just not set up to go and individualize it the way it needs to be. And you guys are really the pioneers in that, so we truly appreciate it. Could you, and I'm really only asking this just for information purposes, because as a board member, I want to know, what can we do to essentially get out of your way? What can we do to make your job easier? So can you kind of, and I don't even know if you can do this because of how unique each student's needs are, but can you kind of walk us through a day of a student's a student in this program, whether they're in one of our general schools, which I'd imagine be a little less restrictive compared to maybe a student over in Funkstown, and when your doctors would be really working with them directly? Is that mainly in the school day, or is that after hours, or how does that look? Or, and like I said, if you can't answer it, I understand. It's very complex.
Sure, the way I see it is as like, us being like, volunteering half a day each week. We all like, have some time that we can dedicate for the kids in school, and overseeing this multidisciplinary approach where like, kids are being worked with, not just the behavioral and occupational therapy or speech therapy, as like medical physicians, like overseeing, like, are they being treated like appropriately, or do they need anything more? Can we collaborate with their primary care physicians outside of school to see if this can be like, done smoothly?
And I
That's
also-
what I vision.
So I also think that we will be helping with the parents if they have any questions. Sometimes it's very hard for the parents to sit down with the primary care physician and talk about, and we are there if they have any questions to how to navigate their kids' day-to-day life with whether it's medical or psychosocial, social aspect of it, like collaborating with the parents, and if we can suggest them some kind of like advice with that.
So I would say most of the work actually is going to be done by the teachers, the behavior specialist, and the occupational therapy. The physician's role in this multidisciplinary approach is not just to answer the questions and to do what Dr. Rao and Dr. Van said, but it's also important that sometimes it's better for a medical doc to talk to the primary care to express what needs to be done, because if a school nurse calls and says, "Doctor, I need this," there's always a resistance. I think a lot of, I probably do have too, but a lot of doctors have too much ego. So if somebody who's not a doctor or a medical provider calls and tells them what to do, that might not be done the right way. So as physicians, we feel from the community, especially all of us have been here for many years, so we know all the physicians, so we can actually talk to them to kind of optimize the medical treatment, but most of the treatment is going to be behavior modification. So as you said, each kid may have different needs, but having initially in this program and then gradually assimilating into the regular classroom setting is much more important for the child. You would be surprised at how many of them can actually do everything we are doing, some things better. Landon was just a prime example. He's on the other end of the spectrum. He's too smart, right? But there are kids who are in between, and we are there. I think the board is asking we should help all of them to move towards more like Landon. So,
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Anybody else?
Great question.
I just can't wait to see where we go with this. It's so exciting to be on the ground floor, but I just know it's going to be a great building. Thank you. Thank you so much.
For this opportunity.
Right, and to conclude, thank you, doctors. And to conclude, we have Steve O'Farrell, who you may remember from he was our CCAC chair for many years. He's also an advisory board member for Landon's project. And we've asked Steve to share his perspective as a parent of a Washington County student with special needs. And also he does have the perspective of having served as our CCAC chair. So we thank him for that.
Thank you, Dr. Wetzer. It's hard to follow Benito. The heartstrings are unbelievable. But anyway, I'm excited to be here today. And before I read some of my prepared remarks, I am really excited to be here today. It doesn't pass me at all that about 7 years ago, we were begging for sensory toys and low lights in classrooms, and now we're on the precipice of something truly extraordinary that is going to be a game changer for so many in our community. So I want to thank, of course, Benito, Dr. Sovine, and Dr. Webster for leading the charge here for something that is way overdue and will have a profound impact on our community. So thank you for having me. As mentioned, I was the chair of CCAC for about 6 years, I think, before I was graduated out. Our son graduated, so I was shown the door at that point, but I am glad to be part of Landon's project. Our two sons graduated from Washington County Public Schools, one with an IEP tied to autism, and I've been asked to provide a parent's perspective on this much needed endeavor. Beyond its ambition, what has struck me most about Landon's project is this is a grassroots, community-driven effort. We are at our best here in Washington County when problems are identified, prioritized, and taken on within a collaborative framework and a kind spirit. And this project is no different. As our community, as further articulated by our medical community, our community is crying out for help in this regard. I can only speak to our family's experience as to navigating a special needs child from pre-K through graduation, and I should mention with honors, within WCPS, but I feel that this will sound familiar to many who have gone through a similar path. I will also save you the heartstrings, as I think Benito has pulled on them sufficiently for today. And I also know that my time is limited, so I'm going to get right to the point. It is a complex and ever-changing journey that we take that must be employed with an all-hands-on-deck type mentality. When our one son broke his wrist, he went to the emergency room, got a cast, his body healed in about 7 months, and he was back to normal. Upon receiving the autism diagnosis for our other son, we began years and years of a variety of therapy sessions, evaluations, specialty services, doctor visits, all outside of the services that were provided within Washington County Public Schools. In reality, there is no finish line to this endeavor. And I would also say without hesitation, the other part of this is a tremendous financial burden to all the families involved in this. You will hit your out-of-pocket and your deductibles quickly, and all of your therapy sessions are generally $40 to $60. These can be biweekly, weekly. These can be in lots of sessions. It is a tremendous amount of financial responsibility. We paid it, and we would pay it again in a heartbeat, but that is also a reality of what it takes as an all-hands-on deck type mentality. I would also point out that needs change, and there is no straight line, and there needs to be a durable framework in place that can also be nimble in its assessments and move quickly. As parents, we are not therapists, we are not specialists, and we need help, sometimes more than others, and a resource like the Landon Project will be truly life-changing, not only to the students, but their families and ultimately to our community. On a personal level, we have seen the fruits of a comprehensive efforts afforded to our son, and we hope that we can all come together to provide something similar for opportunities for all children here in Washington County. Thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, I'm willing to take them.
Does anyone have any questions? I can't thank you, no.
Thank you, Dr. Zetmeyer.
We'll need a copy of that for sound bites later on.
Oh, okay. Happy to do so. Happy to do so.
And
Thank
that
you.
concludes our presentation, Dr. Zetmeyer.
Dr. Webster, thanks for being on our team. And thank you so much, because this project, and Benita too, is one that will grow and support those students who've been marginalized. And without you doing that and spearheading for us, that part, it would have been a lot longer. But so thank you so much.
My pleasure.
I have a question, if you don't mind. Just one question here. How many students are we prepared for? You're saying 2 classrooms, I'm assuming 2 teachers, a parapro?
So we are anticipating about 5 students per classroom based on the needs of the students, but we'll be flexible as like I mentioned, we will evolve as we go, but we're preparing with 2 teachers and 2 paras for the 2 classrooms.
Do we know what the demographics are in Washington County of autism students that we have, that we know that they're out there, that we have not had any connection with, or we have many in our school and we only have room for 10? Is that what?
So the classrooms that we're starting are not necessarily all students with autism. The topic of autism has come up because of Landon's specific diagnosis, but in general, our spirit is around, do we have the programming to serve the unique needs of our students? And so the profiles of some may be around neurodivergency, but the profiles of others may be more complex or just different. So the students that we have selected to start these classrooms are the most complex of the students we're currently serving, who we know right now in the existing programming in our comprehensive schools, we are not able to adequately meet their needs there. So at the IEP table, it was determined that a more enhanced program where we have this level of support of outside, we're going to try to connect outside resources. We're going to concentrate professional learning for these staff working with these individual students. We are going to create something new for this group of students because our existing programming doesn't meet their needs. So that's really the idea around unlocking the talents and gifts of students who right now, currently, we're struggling to meet their needs in our existing programming.
What about the students in the general school setting? Or is that more the sensory stuff that we're doing, or is there actual programming there too?
The students, can you rephrase your question?
Well, I thought we said that there's going to be students within each of our general school system that will benefit from this project as well, right? So
Yeah, exactly. So the idea of distribution of sensory materials to schools that need it for the students who have that specific need, but also the parent engagement events that we'll be able to host will appeal to parents across the county.
thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And with all that exciting news on this great partnership, this meeting's adjourned.